Good morning, Barcelona. So first of all, thanks for your time. It's a pleasure to be here to introduce OrthoSon and our biostructural gel technology. That's it. So OrthoSon, first of all, is a UK company, a spin-out of the University of Oxford, and I'm here really for two reasons. One, to introduce our biostructural gel implant platform technology, and second, to launch our $20 million Series B round to fund a clinical program. We have an implant which will both mechanically restore the intervertebral disc, but also will provide a biologically supportive structure to address the degeneration of the disc. And we believe that structural implants of the future will have those three characteristics. They'll restore the mechanics, they'll do nothing to accelerate the degeneration, and they'll support the biology. Let me explain. So our first product will be will restore the mechanobiology of the intervertebral disc, treating both the pain and the causes of degeneration. So really, why back pain? So I guess we're all Medtech people, so we have one thing in common. We want to help humanity. We want to help our fellow human being. And back pain is the single largest clinical unmet need, certainly in the US, where a staggering $130 billion is spent annually on the treatment of it. And there's a few companies here also in the same space. And so for us, it's that clinical unmet need. It's an obvious target. And actually, most of that back pain comes from degenerative disc disease. And that's broadly something that happens pretty early in life. It can happen certainly in your 20s. It can be first symptomatic. And it means it's where the disc itself, the intervertebral disc in your spine, begins to degenerate. It dehydrates, loses a bit of height, and that creates a hostile environment which further accelerates the degeneration. So other technologies have looked at that mechanical side of restoration, but what's really required is a combination to address the mechanical restoration as well as the hostile environment, that cellular hostile environment that creates degeneration. Because that gets worse as we get older. This is the disease of a younger patient group. So if you look at the current treatments for this patient group, it's pretty easy to see why we have challenges. On the left-hand side over here, you've got some easy decisions for a young patient with back pain to take. I'm going to have physiotherapy, I'm going to have some minimally invasive injections, and those things will address the symptoms. But then after that, everything else is hard. So I can have a maximally invasive surgery, maybe, a fusion. It's going to be costly, it might not be reimbursed, there's going to be plenty of complications. And you can mask the pain with some kind of implantable stimulation technology, or even with pain medication and opioids, and we kind of know where that story ends. So OrthoSon will address this unmet need head-on with a product that's an easy decision for a patient to make, because first of all, it will do no harm. It will be a micro-invasive, injectable treatment for the intervertebral disc. It will treat the pain by mechanically restoring the disc, but it will also address the causes of degeneration. So specifically, what is it? We call our product Hydrate, and it's a low viscosity injectable technology injected into the degenerated intervertebral disc. It's got a low viscosity like milk. It looks like a white fluid injected through a tiny needle, and it's highly hydrated. It's about 82% saline water, just like the native intervertebral disc. And it, first of all, will restore mechanics of the disc. But what you can also see is when it's injected, it kind of locally follows these little fissures of degeneration. So it's locally rehydrating that degenerating disc. So it'll restore the mechanics. But I mentioned before that it'll also be an easy option for a patient to take. And the reason for that is it's a micro-invasive procedure injected through a very small bore needle, complete in minutes, will do nothing to degenerate the nucleus further. And it will uniquely both address the functional mechanics of the disc by increasing tension within the nucleus pulposus of the disc, the nucleus of the disc, but also by rehydrating, it will suppress It will create a scaffold within the disc that's healthy for the biology treats the pain, and therefore the causes of degeneration too. And for clarity, this is a medical device. All these mechanisms of action are 100% mechanical. Now, actually, this is entering a pretty busy market space now with new technology. So this is an area, treatment of the intervertebral disc with an injectable, which has attracted almost $200 million in the last few years into preclinical or early stage companies. And really you can group those companies into two groups. One, you have on the top left these companies which are mostly based upon cellular stem cell technologies which address the hostile environment, the degeneration. But the trouble is you're injecting those stem cells into a hostile environment, and they do little or nothing to address the mechanical problem with the disc. And you've got another group which are addressing the mechanical performance of the disc, but those guys are doing nothing to address the ongoing degeneration of the disc. It might even be increasing or accelerating the degeneration of the disc. OrthoSon, our hydrate technology, is unique and it addresses, it's a combination of both mechanical structure as well as a biologically friendly scaffold for growth. In terms of status, we're on the verge of clinical trials. We have one small animal, one large animal pilot complete. We're just about to start our formal large animal in vivo trial. We're about to have published a key piece of data looking at human cadaveric samples in a bioreactor, and in that case, we very excited by this very small result at the bottom here, but almost complete suppression of the factors that drive degeneration in the intervertebral disc, interleukin-1, ADAMTS4, MMP3, almost completely suppressed, and those are the key drivers of degeneration. And this is not just one product. So we are, as a company, focused specifically on hydrate for the degeneration of moderate to intervertebral disc, but it's a platform of 10 technologies, 5 in the lumbar spine, and then 5 equally applicable in the cervical spine. And where are we on our journey? This is a technology which was patented in 2016, and we're laying down new patents this year, 2023. We're on the verge of our FDA breakthrough device designation, and we are raising the Series B now to fund the clinical program, which we believe will lead to FDA approval in 2029. We have a great team. This is an expert international team, experienced commercializing products in the US and internationally. We're supported by a first-class group of US clinical and commercial advisors who have helped us develop this plan and helping us deliver it all on time and on budget. So I hope you would like to find out more. There is so much more to say. Please come and find me. I'd love to talk through this in a little bit more detail. But just remember, so OrthoSon, biostructural solutions for back pain. So this is solutions which address the mechanics, but also address the biology, making a biologically friendly environment. And if you want to scan that QR code, that takes you through to our website, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.